Matthew is gebore met 'n groot kongenitale defek, onder andere met 'n gaatjie tussen die twee ventrikels wat hulle afkort as VSD. Dit is ventrikulêre septale defek. Met ander woorde, die suurstofryke en die suurstofarm bloed het die heeltyd gemeng. Met ander woorde, die bloed wat na die liggaam toe gaan, was net halfpad suurstofryk. Maar buiten dit het hy nog 'n afwyking of 'n probleem gehad, en dit was dat die longslagaar wat die bloed nou van die regter ventrikel af moet vervoer na die longe toe, het wat hulle noem het 'n atresie gehad. Nou dit beteken dit was of heeltemal afgesluit of dit was so vernou dat die bloed gesukkel het om daar deur te gaan.
You know, everybody has tough circumstances, but Matthew's had 19 years of tough circumstances and he's had to keep going through all that. So no, my boy is amazing.
We know that God's got a plan. He's got a plan for our lives, and I know that we've given him the best that we can possibly do. And he's enjoyed his life so far. All we want is for him to continue enjoying it. And we'd love him to be able to reach his dreams and his goals and do the things he would like to do.
I do hope for the transplant as that, but also understand that someone will have to lose a loved one. But for me, it's also that I want to be able to use my life and to show that their loved one was not, it didn't die in vain. That I'll be able to live out my dreams and hopefully show, and through that maybe achieve hopefully something that their loved one might not have.
Ruby het begin kort asem word, sy moes oefening doen of langer afstande loop en so aan, en toe het hulle haar na 'n dokter toe geneem en toe het hulle met 'n skok, hulle het gedog sy het longontsteking, en toe hulle die ekstraalplate neem, toe sien hulle haar hart is vergroot. En toe begin hulle nou verder ondersoeke te doen. Toe stel hulle vas, sy het kardiomyopatie, hartspiersiekte. Die hartspier werk nie meer so goed nie. En die hartspier kan nie meer, of hy word rek uit en hy word dun, en hy kan nie meer goed saamtrek nie, met ander woorde, hy kan nie meer die bloed uit die hart uit kry nie, en met die een soort begin dit meer aan die linker ventrikel, en dan gaan dit oor na die regter ventrikel toe, en in Ruby se geval was dit meer die regter ventrikel, en dit word styf. Nou, die regter ventrikel pomp die bloed na die longe toe, en moontlik as jy dan almekaar hierdie regter ventrikel het wat nie goed pomp nie, kan jy nou dink dat die longe dalk éventueel aangetast kan word. En in haar geval is haar longe ook nou aangetast en dit kan nie meer omgekeer word nie.
We're praying for a miracle because the only option is heart transplant. I pray that nothing bad happens, that my health will be fine. Just prayed for my health to be good until I get a donor.
Ons het deur die Hartmuseum gestap, ons het 'n foto van Roeps geneem agter professor Chris Barnard, en die dametjie het vir ons gevra, sy het vir my gesê, vul asseblief die register in en skryf daar, Ruby Ballack, 14 years old, waiting for heart and lung transplant, please pray for me.
So kom ons dan by die laaste episode van Ure. En ek wil graag kyk na 'n paar hoogtepunte wat in hierdie laaste jaar plaasgevind het. En een van die hoogtepunte was natuurlik die hartoortplanting van Palu. Ons het onder andere 'n brief gekry van die minister Derek Hanekom wat ek 'n paar sinne vir julle van wil lees oor hierdie oorplanting. I'm deeply moved by the story that links the life of Palu Kahia with the memory of Zonika Skeepers. It's stories like this, acts of giving and sharing, of bringing life and hope for each other, that paint the true picture of who we are as a nation, of how we express the genuine bonds of togetherness that are replacing our divided past. I send my best wishes to the families of all those who have been brought together by this incredible sequence of events. They make me proud to be South African, and they make every South African proud. We can be equally proud of our country's medical prowess, especially in the field of heart surgery. And I applaud your efforts to promote our medical achievements to the world.
En ek sal graag iets wil doen of 'n program op die been wil bring, you know, to give children that opportunity just to enjoy life.
Think big and your deeds will grow, think small and you'll fall beyond. Think that you can and you will, it's all in the state of the mind.
Afgesien van die Barnard familie wat ek goed leer ken het, wil ek ook dankie sê vir Susan en haar hele hartspan. En dan ook vir Dr. Anton Ferreira, Susan se narkotiseer, wat my verwelkom het in hulle huis wanneer ons daar vir film het.
In this operation, we're going to stop the heart so that you can work on it.
What?
We're going to actually stop the heart.
Basies wat 'n mens doen, jy haal die bloed uit die liggaam en hierdie is 'n hartlongmasjien. So die hartlongmasjien neem die funksie van die hart en die longe oor, dan bring jy weer die bloed terug in die aorta en gee sirkulasie aan die liggaam.
En Susan, weet jy, kom agter hoe saggies sy gaan sy werk. Sy druk en trek nie onnodig nie. Sy werk so beautiful. Dat mens sien minder komplikasies omdat sy die chirurg is.
Susan het natuurlik 'n baie groot invloed op my loopbaan ook gehad. Jy weet, ons werk nou jare lank al saam en ek meen sy was ook baie goed geweest vir my in baie opsigte en ons het altyd 'n baie goeie werksverhouding en buitewerksverhouding gehad.
As 'n kind het ek baie naaldwerk gedoen. Ek het al my klere self gemaak vir 'n baie lang tyd. En ek dink ek wou altyd chirurgie gedoen het. Baie mense sien chirurgie as sny of wegsny, maar baie van chirurgie en veral in ons rigting, hartchirurgie waar jy koneksies maak tussen strukture en so aan, daar's baie meer naaldwerk as snywerk betrokke.
Wat gebeur met 'n mens as jy so in 'n narkose gaan? As jy so weggeraak?
Ik heb absoluut geen idee. Ik denk niemand heeft enige idee. Nee. Ik weet niet precies hoe werkt het. Nee.
Ik weet niet, dus als je
doodgaat. Of als het is nog niet gebeurd hoe het werkt. Nee.
Maar is het niet zo als je doodgaat, niet?
Nee, ik denk niet dat ik klaar niet als ze wakker wordt. Zo'n gevoel het ik.
Ek wil ook baie dankie sê aan Wopke en Colleen van Horen. My besoek aan hulle was baie bevredigend. En die filosofie, Wopke se filosofie, het my baie aan die ding gesit.
Ons het gewoon gefokus op die mooiheid wat toch nog bestaan het in die lewe.
Ik heb te veel sympathie of empathie. Als je mij een story vertelt, ik is zo betrokken met jouw story.
Ek wil ook baie dankie sê vir al die pasiënte wat so aan my hart geraak het. En ek hoop dat ons paai ook eendag weer sal kruis.
Hy het vir ons gesê, aangesien dit volgens hulle baie groot hartdefek is wat die babatjie gaan hê, en dit kan ons toekoms belemmer met dit alles, het hy gesê, hulle stel voor, ons moet aborteer.
So right,
Is jy bewus van jou die hele tyd?
Ja.
Is dit so saam gesny? Ja.
As ek met hom praat, dan beweeg sy oor.
Presies?
3 weke en 1 dag.
3 weke en 1 dag.
Mense is maar bekommerd oor jou kind.
Dit voel of jou lewe tot stilstand kom.
Hoe het dit gevoel die operasie?
Lekker. Ek wil posisie of jy kan operasie.
The first memory I have of it, I was about 6 or 7. I think that was the first time I noticed it and kind of found out what it was about, but I didn't know too many specifics at that stage. So
we actually
last time we saw was 8 years ago. So
it was just a visit, and now we're just visiting again today.
Ons bly maar ons glo in die geloof. Ja. Ons gaan nie deurkom.
Wat se funksie het hy op die oomblik? Jy het gesê 18% van sy hartfunksie.
Seker minder as 15, minder as 10, ja, baie sleg.
So Amy was diagnosed with hyperplastic left heart syndrome. In simplistic terms, without going into too much detail, the left side of the heart, which is actually supposed to be the stronger part of the heart, just didn't function. She's of the firm opinion that our bull terrier Boris, who we had before Amy, that Amy and Boris are sitting in heaven, playing around and having fun, and one day she's going to go see them.
Jy moet relax hoor, want Susan het vir my gesê, ek mag nie vir jou ontstel nie. So jy moet baie relax, en sy het vir my gesê, ek moet baie vinnig hier in en baie vinnig hier uit.
Sy het vir ons toe geverduidelik dat er niks is om vir jou op te werk en goed soos dat, you know?
Jy sal weer kan dans en sing op die hoeke van die straat, hè?
Ek is te oud vir dit nou.
Jy is regtig, hoekom? Jou vrou lyk nog goed, né?
Ja, sy sou goed lyk, want ek moes agter haar kyk.
Ja.
Want nou gaan sy, ons kyk agter die 2 jaar, en sy nou begin agter my kyk.
Sy nou kwaai. Ek sê ek is so dankbaar, want jy weet, dis as die dokters gesê het, tot daar iets fout was. Jy weet nie daar's iets fout, tot dit iets is. En ek weet nou is dit, sy kan huis toe gaan en sy kan aangaan. Verstaan jy? Sy is so sweet, ja, naam beteken bearer of light, en dis verseker wat sy is.
Ja.
The real story came was when he was born and they had to cut the umbilical cord and they weren't sure if he was going to breathe and actually live past that.
I didn't want to die. I didn't believe that it was my time to go. I didn't believe I'd accomplished everything that I was put on earth to do. But at the same time, everyone dies at some point. It's, you know, that's the fact of life. You are born and you live and then you die.
So ons kry nie genoeg skenkers nie. Ons waglys is oor die 55 pasiënte.
Vir harte en longe.
Vir harte, longe en hartlonge.
Maar vir hoeveel mense soek jy harte en longe gelyktydig voor?
Nee, daar's miskien, ek dink miskien 5 of 6 wat op die waglys is.
Nou is ek weer terug hier by die Christian Barnard. Laaste wat ek hier was hierdie plek onder konstruksie. Het ek saam met Tiaan hier rondgeloop. Vandag is ek weer terug hierso op hierdie winderige Kaapse dag. Dit het 'n bietjie gereën. En ek gaan nou praat met Michelle Narus, die bemarkingsbestuurder van die Christian Barnard Hospitaal.
Welcome to the Netcare Christian Barnard
Thank you. You know, I've been walking around here and it's lovely. Jy weet?
Ja.
It's regtig mooi, né?
You love what you see?
Ja, state of the art.
Yeah. So you were here a couple of months ago and everything was still...
Yeah, I was walking around with Tiaan here, Susan.
As you can see, we've done it. We've opened up and we hope.
It's achievement.
It's a huge achievement. Yeah. Being the marketing manager in this new state-of-the-art facility, I'm really, really proud.
Yeah.
We now eventually have a facility that is marketable. You know, everybody wants to be part of this facility.
Yeah.
You know, we have specialists, GPs, everybody excited to come and see the place. And obviously we've got quite a few doctors wanting to work from the new Christian Barnard. And our patients are excited. Our patients are excited to be here. You know, you have patients that's been with us for many, many years. You know, moms that's had babies and have come back and had their second and third kids. So now they're doing the whole comparison, and the feedback we're getting is extremely positive.
The original building was built in 1969.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that building served us very well for 34 years. But there were huge issues that needed to be done. The fire regulations had moved on tremendously in those 34 years. In fact, since 69. So our fire protection wasn't up to the standard we would like it to be now. The reticulation and the energy efficiency, the air conditioning system was designed back in 69. Most of our doctors are South African trained doctors. We have some doctors who've been trained overseas and who've come down and specialized in South Africa. And we have a broad mix. We cover most of the disciplines except for oncology, which we are now was a gap we identified, and we are now building the oncology bunkers and the chemotherapy unit. So that forms part of phase 2. That's currently under construction.
Hierdie jaar is dit 50 jaar gelede toe Chris Barnard op 3 Desember in die oggendure, Sondagoggend, die eerste hart oorgeplant het. Kom ons kyk hoe Chris Barnard gevoel het na hierdie hartoorplanting.
The only time that I realized that I was doing something different, and this was really the moment of truth, is when I looked down into the chest of that patient and there was no heart. And you cannot imagine the moment how lonely I was at that moment, because there was nobody I could turn to and say, listen, am I doing the right thing? What must I do next?
The next point was where I was worried. Would the heart start beating again once I supply it now with warm blood from the heart machine?
And when the blood came back into that transplant heart, immediately it showed life. And eventually when I shocked it, it started beating. And it was like, as if there was a darkness in that operating room. And when the heart started beating, light came on again. And everybody started talking, and everybody was And when I left that hospital that morning, you'll be surprised to know there was not one photographer, not one television camera, not one newspaper reporter outside that hospital to interview me about the operation. But as history has shown, things changed very rapidly after that. And that was difficult for me to handle. Not the operation, that was easy, but to handle the celebrity status that followed the first transplant. I had phone calls from all over the world. And that evening, there was a television crew here to photograph the team and to discuss the operation with the team. And then after that, it just became impossible to work. I recognize what they wanted, but what I don't think they recognize is the need that I had to have time to look after my patients, to do my surgery, and that I couldn't spend all the time answering questions and appearing in front of cameras.
Doctor, I'm told you have arthritis. When did you first notice this?
Well, I think it's during the period when I was working so many hours. I actually, in those days, I started to do some ice skating. I'd never done it before, but the kids loved it, so I used to take them down to do ice skating, and I developed a pain in my foot. And I thought it was from skating, and then eventually my hands started, my feet started.
I went then to see a doctor, and can you imagine, he said to me, you know, you've got rheumatoid arthritis. I thought to myself, I just pictured the patients that I've seen with their hands like this, rheumatoid arthritis, and I thought to myself, God, is that going to be my life? Here I am ready to become a heart surgeon, and I'm going to end up like that. But he said something, and this also taught me. He said something, he said, you know, you are what we call serum negative, and it will never be so bad that you will become crippled from it. And he was correct, and that's why I learned something there. That even if you have to give a patient bad news, always put a bright side to it. Never totally destroy a patient by giving him the news of his illness. There must always be hope, because when there's hope, there's that fight for life. And that hope that he gave me, that I will never become crippled, carried me through my whole surgical career.
Dit was my 'n groot voorreg hierdie week om vir Tina en haar vriend hier te ontvang, om vir Tina beter te leer ken. Sy het 'n hart- en longoorplanting oorleef. En dit behoort 'n groot inspirasie te wees vir Matthew en Ruby om voort te gaan op hierdie moeilike pad waarop hulle is. Waar was jy gewees daai dag toe jy gehoor het daar's 'n skenker vir jou? Vertel my alles.
I was quite ill, and I had planned a final party for myself because I was starting to give up. And it was going to be a Halloween party because it was Halloween weekend. And I'd been resting. And I'd been in my room probably for over a week, and Mum decided it was a beautiful sunny day and she needed me to come into the garden and just get some fresh air. Anyway, we were walking around the garden and Mum got a phone call. And she came back and she just looked at me. And I said, is it a donor? And she said, yes. And we laughed and we cried and we hugged and we screamed and we were just so excited, and I knew that this was my moment. This was going to be the beginning of the rest of my life. And we had to go and have x-rays because they wanted to be certain that the donor lungs would fit into my chest cavity. So I was trying to sleep and calm down, and because I was all excited. And Mum came and lay on the bed with me, and we were both lying on our sides, and I opened my eyes and I looked at her, and she said to me, we're going to the hospital. And I thought, oh my gosh, that means we're going to the hospital. I'm having the operation. And all of a sudden, from being the sick, tired, breathless, oxygen-deprived waif, adrenaline took over. And I jumped off that bed and I thought, I'm going to go and have a shower because I know I'm not going to have one for a while. And I packed a bag and I phoned my dad and my family and let them all know. Yeah, and off we went to the hospital. And funnily enough, we walked into him and his team as we were walking into the hospital itself. Yeah, he was walking out to go and catch the plane, and he had a can of Coke and a packet of chips. It was like his dinner. And he looked at me and he took me aside and he said to me, I won't know if the lungs are any good until I open up and see and have a look. And I thought, oh, that means that this might not happen. And I shook my head and I thought, no, it is my time, it is going to happen. And I looked at him and I said, don't worry, they're mine. I'll see you on the other side. No such thing as coincidence.
Yeah, there's no such thing as coincidence.
God is at work. You know, at the end of the day, I remember writing a diary entry. I was still in the hospital. And just the euphoria of having had the transplant and being able to breathe on my own and being able to eat on my own and eat so quickly and going with the physio up and down the corridors and not getting tired. Just such excitement and joy and euphoria is the best word for it. And I just think I was just so excited to be alive and that I'd had the transplant. But then you start to think to yourself, well, I wouldn't be here if someone else hadn't died.
Vertel my, waar het julle ontmoet?
It was down at the Durban Shongweni Club. I was there. It was a potjie competition. And that's when I actually saw it for the first time.
Was dit na die oorplanting?
It was about 2 years prior to that.
Yeah.
But at the time I was with somebody else, so obviously nothing could happen. But yeah, from when I saw her, it was, she came around the corner and she was full of energy and smiling and laughing, and I just thought, she's got something. She appealed to me like that. We were out at the club and it's more restaurant bar area, and it's when I actually saw her again and asked how she was doing and all that sort of thing, because I'd heard obviously through the grapevine she had her op and all that sort of thing, and yeah, it's basically from that day we never really looked back. Jan, obviously you don't get much sort of feedback from anybody regarding your shows and things like that, but on behalf of the other people, that the transplantees and the people that you may help in any way, a big thank you to what you're doing. If we can change one life, it'll be worth it.